what is going to happen is that social media, specifically Facebook in particular, it's the biggest thing, but it is the crack, it is the methamphetamine, it is the AIDS, it is the worst form of social media for a variety of reasons. I'll explain that to you. But at least people still want to kind of hang around together. They want to be social. Why is this important? One of these days, you will see people imprisoned in their little homes, their cars, their neighborhoods, in their own miniaturized social media Fema camp. And what happens is, by virtue of the fact that they have been conditioned for so long to remain isolated and remain unto themselves, and the illusion of social connectiveness and connectedness has been portrayed, people are going to find that they are willing to live and are able to live in their own little prison. Let me explain. Social media create the idea that you are part of a community. People are going to say, where do you live one day? And you're going to say, I live in Facebook, or on my fan page, or my regular page, or I live in Twitter. That's where I live. Last night, the number of people that I know, some people of pretty big names, taking a picture of the lone champagne glass, Happy New Year. One guy taking a selfie of himself wearing this stupid Happy New Year hat by himself. And there was the creation that, no, I'm not alone. I'm with my friends. The point of this is, do you see what's happening? You are being reprogrammed and reconditioned to believe that you are a part of a society. Consequently, you don't have to get out. People eventually are going to be not seeing anybody. They're going to be home. They're going to be in their room, in their basement, in whatever it is. They are not going to want to talk to people, because Facebook and social media, to an extent, will replace that. Because there are people more and more separated from each other. This is not just some kind of a joke. And the reason why this is even more important, why Zuckerberg and these others are so critical, is that they came along and did something which the best, for lack of a better word, Orwellian scholar, dystopian expert could have ever anticipated. You know and I know that everybody wants ultimately to keep all of their people in cages. They want to disarm you, they want to confiscate guns, and they want you to be parked away in a camp where you're self-sustained and out of the way. You think I'm kidding, right? You think I'm kidding? You think the government wants you moving around? No, they want you to work. They want you to provide your goods for them and the oligarchs. Nobody wants you free at the beach and clogging up traffic, using resources. They want you home. And what they're going to be doing ultimately is two things. Number one, you're going to see the driverless cars. Driverless cars are going to be your little prison on wheels. There was an article that came out that said for the first time, there will be a generation, probably this generation, who will never drive. Now, when I was 16 years old, on my 16th birthday, I was in that car. I got my license. I was ready to go because to me, the car was freedom. It was a chance to get away from your parents, just to get out, meet people, go places. You know, we'll have fun with that. Daddy took her T-Bird away, and all these great Janadine and Hot Rod numbers. All of that's gone because more kids are not opting to even drive. You got Uber. There is no sense of driving and autonomy. You're not going to care anymore about how fast cars go. You're going to care about cars in terms of their plushness, the accoutrement, so to speak, of how it's appointed in terms of, bells and whistles, but you're not going to have any drivers. So you're not going to care about performance at 0 to 60 or maybe mileage. That's it. And when you get in your car, you're going to one day punch it. You're going to punch in some coordinate of where you want to go, and it's going to tell you no. No, you're not going to go there. Oh, you're a black person? Oh, we know you're black. We know all about you. We've been collecting every bit of your data for years. We've got all of your biometrics. We know everything about you. And one day you want to take the family out to what? The Hamptons? The Hamptons. Or wherever? No, we don't want you there. Sorry. Oh, you're a Muslim family. No, you're going to stay right there. You can't go. Sorry. And you know what you're going to say? Nothing. Whom will you complain against? What, the car manufacturer? Who? I don't know. That's what that's for. That's why that's important. the ability of you to show any kind of autonomy over where you're going. So you're going to be, you're going to have a key. You won't be able to drive your car anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will not have that option. And it will happen before you because people will crave it. They will demand it. They will think it's so cool. And he said, isn't this great? I'll have my own car. It's like having my own Uber. I just get in the back and say, home, James. Thinking you're a schmuck. Don't you understand what's happening? Social media, again, takes that away. Now, when they put you in FEMA camp number 1, it will be called instead, I don't know if they have them where you are, but sometimes they have these kind of fancy gated communities with the names like Willowbrook Acres or something. I don't know. They're going to put you in FEMA Camp 6 called the Hamptons. You'll be happy. You'll vie for which prison you're going to stay in. And you'll pay more for your cell. And you'll go there and you have a car that doesn't go anywhere you want. And you'll sit there and you'll basically live in your world on your social media. That's it. And that's what you're being programmed to do. That's what you are being coordinated, targeted. That's what you're being habituated to do. That is what's happening. It's that critical. One day, through active, repetitive, almost habitual and chronic social media use, you will be satisfied. You will feel you're at home. In your room, in your cell, with your laptop or your phone, talking to your friends. You ever see people who they stand in a line? The other day we walked into I forget what it was, some shoe place. I was with my wife and we were there. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at these women. And as soon as they stopped, phones came out, as you've seen. It's not just there. But they were transported someplace else. Back into their home, back to where they live, back to the mothership, back on their planet. Because that's where they live. They don't live here. That's what social media is. So you will have no sense of looks. The only thing you care about in terms of how you look is to be able to send a selfie to somebody that says, I'm sending you a selfie. It's nothing to do with the fact that you want to celebrate a moment or that whatever. You are replacing human interaction with social media. Somebody dies, you post it. 2016, auto mourn. People in the last minute. Who was the last guy? Was it William Christopher? Guy from MASH? Father Mulcahy? Yeah. He died. He was 84. And you knew people were trying their best to turn on the auto mourn and to say, oh my God. Oh God. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. But eventually, you won't have friends. Not real friends. You won't go out. You'll be in your room with your social media. In fact, when you're found guilty of stuff, instead of solitary confinement, we just take your social media away. You won't exist. Not only that, when we one day put in the RFID chip in you, this is going to be really good. When we one day put in the RFID chip in you, this is going to be really good. Which you will want and demand and beg and stand in line for and wait online. You'll be talking about which model do you have. We're going to put that RFID chip in you, and you're going to stand there forever. Now, one day on that RFID chip, you will have everything. Your building codes, your keyless entry, your fob, your medical records. Oh, God, they love medical records. I don't know if I want my medical records on my neck, wherever this thing is. But anyway, you're going to have this. And then one day you're going to be able to, put your hand wherever the chip is. You're going to be able to pay your CVS or your Duane Reade or your Publix or wherever you go, get your store. You're just going to pay your location services where you are. You're going to love that one. Cops are going to love that one too. They're not going to believe that you actively inserted an RFID chip in you. Because little through little, by transhumanistic successive approximation, you went from laptops to handheld. Because a handheld, this computer is but the phone isn't really on you all the time, but the chip will be. And we know where you are and how you're feeling. And by the way, we might know a little bit about your health and your blood pressure, and we'll have some fun with you trying to get insurance on that one. And then one day when you are found guilty of something, some particular crime, you go before the judge. The judge doesn't send you to prison. He just turns your chip off, and poof, you don't exist anymore. You're gone. You don't exist. You are gone. How about that? And then your social media, gone. You lose your right. Oh, Zuckerberg will do something. They'll have some condition where convicted felons can't go online, or if you don't pay your taxes, you can't go online, or whatever. And that will be your death knell. That will be the end. I know people, if they could not go on Facebook, and remember, it's going to get worse. And people are strange. We see these folks that I never knew would be this crazy. Some really will take to Twitter or maybe Instagram. It's weird. Some people are kind of different. They all have this different predilection, these propensities, if you will, to go in one particular area or another. But the punitive potential of this is going to be just amazing. Because remember, you're not going to meet people. We're going to completely change everything that humans do. We're going to completely change everything that humans do through a computer. I met, but a friend of mine, an associate, was telling me that the night before I saw him, he said, oh, it was on a date. I said, oh, on a date. Interesting. How did you meet her? I don't know why I'm asking this. He said, oh, Tinder. I don't know how Tinder works. I would imagine it's just like the rest. I have no idea. I've never even seen it. But do you know what happens when you remove from the equation, from the calculus of human interaction and dating? Do you know what happens then? Do you know what happens? When you take social interaction and you reduce it to almost like a roommate service or something, it's going to destroy everything, and it's ultimately going to make you able to be kept, arrested, incarcerated, harnessed, behind bars, whatever you want to call it, easier, because it's destroying and removing from you all of those things which used to be associated with liberty and freedom and the like. Your worst nightmare is going to come true. Your worst nightmare. Everything you can imagine. Incarceration, camps. You won't even care because your ability to resist, and it might be maybe a generation or two, so that can happen next week. But believe me, this is what's happening.